Welcome back, everyone, to Let's Play Decisive Campaigns Barbarossa, episode number 33. I think this is 33, and that's a nice number. We're not going to finish this series quite yet. Got a few more episodes to go, but yeah, this is the first episode where I feel like we are on the wind down. We've taken 2 of the 3 objectives. I think we have a solid push towards Rostov upcoming. I mean, the resistance is already melted away. We can just make our way there, but depends on how quickly I want to do that. Anyways, let's get to the history. We're Hugo-less, unfortunately, and again, I still think that was a really fitting thing. It's like the one day before retirement narrative, almost cliche in video games, although in this case, completely random. I mean, like a legitimate narrative, not a forced one. Okay, so in the history, which I reviewed only one time, it just didn't look like there was anything worth really saying other than maybe them moving some forces south into the Crimea. This pocket did escape, unfortunately, but a lot of pulling back from the Kharkov area. It looks like they've abandoned it, except for the 2 forces already in there, which includes 1 garrison, and then 1 not garrison did not choose to leave. Pulling back east across the river here, so they're giving that up. We're still like in contact from our push from the Finnish forces from the north, but yeah, they're falling back there. This unit actually moved further in. I guess it's the only direction they can go, so made that decision. They were walking around our Panzer Group, 3rd Panzer Group, which should be active again this turn, I think. That'll be good to have them back. We can finally close off the pocket, although 2nd Panzer Group is actually going to be able to close that off all by themselves. They consolidated into Tula. Not necessarily a wise idea, but not like it really matters. This is all just like, you know, not too terribly important. The only thing really important, I guess, at this point is just the further south point, Rostov, and I mean, you can see this. They don't have an army built up by Rostov. The most that we expect is maybe 2 forces there. So if we just do a very considered push, and I'm going to try to hand off Kharkov to 8th Army, or, sorry, not, is it 8th? It is 8th, right? 8th, or even the 3rd Romanian, someone over here. I'm going to try to hand them off so that 17th can actually move more aggressively towards Rostov. And I think that's really all we want to talk about. I've got some reinforcements here. Let's go to the stats. It's just been a very bad trend for the Soviets. They're starting a small amount of recovery, but definitely, I mean, this is insane. I mean, they had it at the very start of the war, which was kind of expected as well, right? We were going to have really good initial pushes and pockets and etc. So that happened. They lost a lot of troops. And they probably weren't also having reinforcements right away since they were, caught off guard. But now this is, I mean, it's almost the same slope. Probably from here on it roughly is. Maybe not quite. That's a very steep one. Yeah, it's just impressive. Okay, and then we have an additional 150k taken in the last turn. And these, I would say, are just, I mean, it's beyond the point where this really matters. The stats now are just for stats' sake. We're not looking to break the back. The back is already broken. I'm saying this. I don't know if it's true, but that's my take on the subject, at least. But even though that's true, yeah, I still like to look at this and say, okay, yeah, that's irrecoverable. Then if they're losing more troops like that. By the way, let's look at our casualties, which have crossed 200k, but only losing 4k in that turn, and only losing 3k in that turn. So our casualties have been pretty small, and that's been a focal point for this playthrough. In fact, I mentioned this earlier, but maybe people who have even played this through and gotten all the way, if you could send, like Tarek has been pretty vocal in the comments about different proposed strategies. I don't know if anybody else besides Tarek, if he has anybody else finish, if you have your copy of the stats, or if you know how many casualties I want to get some ballpark figures for whether or not roughly 200k is, I'm pretty sure it's on the low side, but I don't know what else people might have experienced. My gut tells me that 300 to 350 is probably normal. Maybe that's a little bit high, but that's just my gut talking. I think that we did very well this campaign. All right, in the north. By the way, I'm trying to keep this episode maybe down to 40 minutes is what I'd like. I don't know if that's possible, but There's a lot less going on, so I feel like it's pretty high time for us to make things go a little bit faster. So anyways, we are going to be doing our attack on Tallinn after Leningrad has already fallen and everything. Eventually we were going to come back. We were going to take some casualties, we knew that, but okay, at least it fell on the first turn. We were going to be able to cycle units if it didn't, but 1,600 losses for 12,000. I mean, for all said, that's not that bad. This is still, you know, I mean, it's not 10 to 1, but it's, you know, like 7 to 1 or so. It's pretty good. So, yeah, that's it. That one falls. Another one bites the dust. So at this point, we can really just start gearing up all over to the east. I don't even know what the 18th Army is going to be doing after they get there, though. Like, what purpose do I have for them? It's just a good question. Anyway, that's good movement from them. We'll push as far as we can, get some good distance towards the east. In fact, actually, that could take us pretty far over here. So nobody is able to do an attack from the southeastern folks against the 48th. 65, though. I think that we might be able to get some of these guys, and we have a bunch of them. And they're on the offensive posture. By the way, we need to switch these guys off offensive, which we'll probably do after this turn, honestly. But I want to get these guys to do one attack. This is just an HQ. It's holding by itself as just an HQ. So yeah, we want to attack this, just push it back. Maybe I'll even do all three. Just push this back as quickly as possible. I mean, look at it. You can't get much worse about an attack than that. But the main thing I was trying to figure out is if it's possible to get... I don't know if it's possible, and apparently it's not. Because I don't want to send them across. Like this, by my calculations, 16th Army HQ can go here. That's as far as they can go to the north. Which means I can't actually drop somebody across the river. Or maybe I still will. Like this 66, how's your fatigue? Okay, it's low. We're going to move one unit across just to hold the other side. They're going to be out of command range, but that's just something we're going to have to take because for some reason none of the Finnish forces are able to get across. And otherwise I'm not worried about it. I don't really care about crossing. We already crossed in the south and, you know, that's easily held. Alright, anyway, we've got some work to do up here. We're going to do this, and move this unit over here. Just preparing for our eventual attack on these guys. We'll move you over here, do our follow-up attack. This unit has no readiness, so I'm not expecting resistance. They didn't shatter, which, you know, I would have preferred to have seen. We can do a follow-up attack, though. What do you know? And we will. Okay, there it is. I'm not sure where I want them to be. We'll put you in here. I think I'll leave you here, and then that unit will come and close the gap. I mean, this garrison, if they had scouts or any kind of reconnaissance, or even news available about approaching units, they would feel pretty screwed, I think. Anyway, I mean, I would if I were them. What do we have left? We have 66 who can go, like, well, let's just send one person over here, or one person... you can only go down here, so you will. Depends on if I want to double up. I think I will just double up down here and get this one secured, and then you should move forward, at least that, to cover everyone. And that covers everyone. I think we'll leave it just like that. And then we'll go down here to take care of the southern part. I mean, we can do the entire Army Group North pretty quickly, I hope. We're almost done, right? One would hope. I think I'll do some shifting over here, by the way. And you know what? Why not? I don't see any reason not to move them across, as long as I'm still in the green. We have one funny case with somebody in the red, that unit right over there. I think they're actually getting supply, and it's a bug, because they're so high on fatigue that it may think they're not getting... I'm not sure. It doesn't make sense. We actually got reinforcements. This showed up on the history at the end of it. These guys are going to start making their way... I mean, where do they even go? I have no idea, but we're going to have them use the road. You can move where? I don't know. I might as well have you cross in the north. Because I believe that 4th Panzer Group can also shift. We actually want this unit to shift southeast by 1 because we have the units, like, we're just in the open here. And although I think that's the limit, what I'm going to do is go forward and then back just so all that territory is mine for next turn. Hopefully that begins putting pressure on these guys to move back. I'm not sure, but I would love not to have to fight in the mountains. I don't know, give them some kind of ultimatum. Who knows? Okay, so we also have the option to attack this unit. I don't know if it's necessary. It probably isn't. They actually have pretty low readiness. We could just bleed them out for a turn or two. But we could also just finish them off and then just get them out of my hair. If I add this unit, our bonus goes down. I think it probably is better overall to do that, but I don't know what this unit... I mean, let's just do it. It's probably better overall. Took 2 losses, but eliminated a force, 400 for 10,000. I mean, those are the kind of odds which gives us the low casualties and the high KDA. KDA, kill, death, assist. That's a first-person shooter nomenclature. I don't know why I used it. Revealing my hand. I have played those kind of games before. Yeah, but this is the question. Like, where does anybody even go? Like, in the north, we have nothing to do. We can go over to Vologda, and then we're done. You can't do anything. So what I'll probably do is have these guys be the new person to deploy, and have them come in from, and maybe swoop in and take Kalinin. I don't know. What else are you gonna do when you've gotten this far? I don't think the game was meant to be played this way, right? It's not meant to be played that much beyond Leningrad. Nothing here is in supply, by the way, so all these things are, if we cut them off, they'll just slowly lose supply and, you know, bleed off and die. So yeah, anyway, you can move even one further, and we might as well move there as well. And yeah, we'll still move the Finnish forces basically as far as we can. Probably should move that unit. We'll just put 1 unit in there, I guess. It would even make sense for us to move them all the way down, but yeah, so it's just a shame that nobody's actually getting across. And we'll move you here as well. Okay, good. So that is probably all that I wanted to do for Army Group North. I'll come back in if there's anything I missed, but I mean, it's not even of high significance at this point, which we already know. But it's still fun to, you know, push on, and I don't know, if I can come up with a new crazy idea which makes things fun in the north, I will. I think like getting Vologda it's not difficult. We could do that and then maybe convert the 4th Panzer Group to the center and take Yaroslav and Kostroma. I don't know. Taking Gorky would be hilarious. That'd be a real blow to them. Is Gorky where they moved the factories? I forget. Or was it further east? I'm not exactly sure. But for some reason Gorky stands out for me and from other games as some kind of significant city. Well, the 4th Army may be Hugo-less, but they have, well, I mean, they really don't have much more to do, which is why it's part of the sad thing about his death, is that it happened in such a just in pocket clearing. I'm only going to attack with the 2 people who are trying to move in the direction of going east anyway. I assume because this person had, like, no readiness. I think it might have been even 0 readiness, but anyway, that was... I thought it would be a foregone conclusion that we would get that kind of a victory. We did. And we're moving on, so everyone's just pushing as far as they can. The only 2 ones of interest are, like, this one can move. That's good, and then you can move. Probably something like here would be better. Again, it begs the question, where the heck are we even going? Let me see the HQ, how far we can get. Where's the HQ? We can get to here, and that gives us... So we can get... Alright, we can get to this hex as the farthest. Okay, then we're fine. We can go here, and that should be just barely in range. Yeah, good. Alright, so yeah, we'll just move northeast. Can't even get to time. Like, where are we destined for? Ryazan, I guess? I don't know. It's kind of the same question everywhere now. We can just advance as much as we can. We might as well. But where we're actually supposed to be going, what strategic objective we're going to take, it's anybody's guess now. I mean... That's why the things like this crazy push towards Stalingrad, you might as well, right? You don't have anything else to do. Which actually isn't, out of all the places I'm pushing, the only one with the crazy objective where it isn't true I have nothing else to do is the 1st Panzer Group. They could definitely be helping actually take Rostov and all that. But we already see it kind of isn't necessary. So we finally finished repairing the bridge to Orel. The Smolensk brig, it's just, I don't know what kind of kerfuffle is happening with the engineers over here, but they, I don't know, metric to imperial conversion issues, who knows what's going on, but they still have not repaired this bridge. I did check it out, 20 to 25, the 20% chance to 25% chance is the coin toss. Whether you get it 20 or 25, that should be the coin toss. Are we at 30 or 35? I guess we can find out. 35, my goodness. So we lost it at 35. We lost it at 30 and 35. Losing it at 25 was already beyond the coin toss. So we've gotten very lucky in this series in a lot of different ways, but I am going to harp on this bridge not being repaired. It'd be more fun to think of it from a role-playing perspective that the engineers have failed than to like bemoan my poor RNG over there, but that's what it is, really. We just got unlucky. Anyway, it's easy to be forgiving about bad RNG when you're in the kind of position we are, so we'll just continue to push on. We'll fold up this last unit over here. We'll just do the attack from 4 sides, even though the extra bonus doesn't go up. It's nice to get more people involved in the attack. And this is a pretty weak unit, 37 readiness, and I think we expect too much out of resistance there. Didn't shatter though, which I would have loved to have seen actually. Can only get there. We're going to move, and we are going to do this attack again. That unit not going to move anywhere yet. Do this attack with everyone, not the HQ. So it gives us a good surround from 4 sides, and now we are attacking one unit, which is 100%, 100%. This may be the last unit we attack, because we don't really need to be doing this. Why? They were technically supplied even though that had to go over a broken bridge. That still counts as connection to some supply center. That's no longer going to be the case after this turn, but we'll still do this attack, just hopefully don't take too many losses. Yeah, shattered that one group. They did take massive losses. Only took 3 ourselves, so 600 dead for 4,200, lots of casualties. I still think that was, I mean, it was okay. One of the things actually it's going to do for us is free up some forces to exactly like this to go further north. And what exactly are we going to do with those forces going north? That's kind of what I was thinking, is fold over the top here. And one of these guys, I just want to go in here and then come back. And we actually could go into the marsh here, and that would free up 9th Army HQ. I don't think they're going to try to push down there. Yeah, we probably don't need to. I mean, I just wanted to grab this so that this guy has an even more direct line of supply. I don't think that's, necessary. I guess technically the 3rd Panzer Group headquarters is open to attack if this guy decided to leave the fortifications, just gun for the HQ, which wouldn't be a bad decision. I just don't expect that they're going to make that kind of decision. All right, to the fun stuff, which I assume is being able to cut off them here, and then being able to go around and cut off that. I mean, they already know they're doomed, right? So we know that the garrison should be fine. This minor garrison, so it's only a minor garrison too. This will stay in supply, but we don't have to worry about it too much. And everyone else in this hex should slowly deteriorate due to lack of supply after we do the cutoff, which means we should do the cutoff. We can actually get pretty far out there. In fact, one place I guess I need to figure out is, I think I have to go here to get that. Good, that's exactly right. So the cav here, red. So we can go to this corner. We could go here then, and I will. Yeah, it's in. Starting to capture road. I guess the 5 extra, reducing the action point to enter this whole territory by 5 will help speed up 4th Army's advance ever so slightly. Probably effectively not at all. I don't think it'll make a difference, but we're doing it anyway. I mean, what else are you going to do, right? So let's keep infantry close to the city. They're not going to be attacking it soon, but this is also interesting. How far we can get to the elbow, right? We can get to here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's as far as we can go. I guess we ought to send this guy over there. Oh, okay, yeah, there's nothing in this area. And then we can only go here, so let's send somebody else over there just to collect those. Yeah, we're just going to the limits of our advance. I could just move this guy one more forward. And, why don't I do that? I guess I'm trying to save the trucks. Oh, it doesn't matter that much, though. It also doesn't matter advancing, though. I suppose what we'll do is probably next turn, we'll get the HQ to roll further forward, and we can't take Ryazan anyway. So might as well just pretend like we're not immediately going to take it, even though, yeah, of course, if it's empty, we will. Alright, let's get motorized here. Do I want to surround them yet? No, if they move out of the city, that's actually to our benefit. And okay, good, we do have some other units that can We have motorized. I mean, we might as well make it official, right? Officially enclose them. And I'll put my Panzer group there as well. Oh no, we have another one. Okay, that's great. Send that guy out there. A lot of our movement here is, it's really random. I mean, not random, that's a bad word. It's probably an overused word, but just, it's done without much consideration. Ad hoc maybe is better. I don't really need to plan things, I'm just kind of playing it by ear. Because, I mean, I did a planning phase for this, which you may be able to tell about how quickly I'm doing things, but this is... There's not a whole lot of thought that needs to go into this, which means that, yeah, maybe we can keep this turn a little bit shorter. Run the turns a little faster, and then, you know, get to the conclusion that much sooner. Well, I'm still of two minds about what to do with 1st Panzer Group, because they're going to be pretty limited just by the headquarter movement this turn. I can get all the way over here, but that still means I can only get just so far this turn. I think here is where I get, which means the furthest we can advance is here. I think we're going to find that that's not necessarily good enough. I also want 6th Army to go over and take over Kharkov, because I cannot any longer neglect the fact that Rostov is the priority. So yeah, I mean, Kharkov will fall. That's the only objective that 6th Army has at this point, so we can just kind of ferry all units towards that objective, which is what I'll be doing. Yeah, some of these guys were even cut off, but I think these guys, some of them are going to hold like the outermost, I mean the southeasternmost perimeter that we've kind of started to establish. I'd really like to spot the Voronezh garrison directly. The reason why I'd like to do that is because it would behoove us to know there's a garrison there for pathfinding reasons. Otherwise I have to manually march one by one. Otherwise, you know, if I say go here, they're going to go on the road. So I know that there's a garrison there. Well, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm like 99% sure. I don't know if it starts the game there or not, but it's probably there now. Anyway, so we do have a lot of infantry to move forward. So what I said about waffling with 1st Panzer Group is I'm going to have a backup plan. I think it's a very sensible one to ultimately just cut back down south towards Rostov if this ends up not looking good. Especially because, like I said, 6th Army at this point is not going to... I'd even prefer 6th Army HQ to move south by 1 hex, which pretty significantly limits our ability to do reconnaissance this turn. You can see that it's 105 movement here, which is without the zone of control penalty. That's the only way I'll know for sure Voronezh garrison is there. But then the unit that I end up doing that to, it's going to be out of command radius if I do it. So I know I want to do this. I probably end up just doing this and then sitting on the line, and that unit will end up moving south eventually anyway. But I didn't get the information I wanted if I do that. I'm going to leave them hanging in limbo and we'll make a decision later. Anyways, everyone else is going to start moving south. And that includes... Yeah, so that includes you moving south. Somebody has to cross the river. I guess that's you. We could have another person cross the river, or we could have you go here. You can go here, and you can go here. It's probably unnecessary, but we got the 5 sides of surround. We're going to get definitely 6 next turn. Most importantly now, I want to find out where my 17th Army units are. I think those are the 4 of them. We can pull these guys back. So where are you going to go? Your best bet is actually probably to go here. Not that I like it, but it's probably the best we can do. Yeah, we'll move you south. Move you probably here. Since somebody has to stay and defend that one last hex, you can move here to attack that guy. I think this is what we'll do, is have these 2 attack here. Good result. Wasn't, unfortunately, the shattering I was definitely hoping for. But we have one unit who can attack here. We have a unit can help. Nobody can attack this unit, but, well, I didn't really want to be north of the river, the Donets. But at this point, maybe it's a good thing I am, since we can do a follow-up attack next turn. Let's close the gap here. This is going to be a 4-sided attack on that unit. Okay, got them, shattered them. I mean, they were surrounded, so they were just essentially eliminated without a single loss. 8,000 troops down. We'll take it. I actually expected to take losses there because that unit was, wasn't high on readiness. I forget what it was, maybe 50 or so, but could easily have seen us taking losses there, and we didn't, so that's good. Okay, so that now means that you two will definitely move up since moving east is the priority. And you can see how things are going now. I mean, as soon as we start rolling, I knew this would happen, but basically as soon as we start pushing, things are falling apart in front of us. Now, I have to say, obviously, the earlier turns where we weakened all these units and we made this happen. So I don't want to also say at the same time that we moved too slowly. We could have moved faster, but add more casualties. That's just the trade-off, and that's the way the game is supposed to work, I'm pretty sure. You can move faster, but you're going to take more casualties to do so. And because I think every cost function is optimized over typically one parameter. Otherwise you have to do some weird weighting thing. But no, I mean, you optimize for one thing basically, and the main optimization thing for me is minimizing German casualties while still achieving overwhelming decisive victory. Hopefully that's been playing out that way. What was this? 6,000 more? Okay, good. Those guys are going to be pushed back. We'll do a follow-up attack. I mean, basically, not everybody can move there now. So you can't move forward, which means you will, since you're already holding that. You can't move further. You can't move further. Somebody could, though, right? Yeah, you. And you could move there, but why? Don't. And then you pretty much have to go here then. And we have anybody else who can do this attack? I actually want you to move forward, so I'm just going to do the attack with whoever is available, which is still 10%. I mean, I'm hoping this works out well. It's a weaker unit. One loss. Didn't actually inflict that many casualties. Their readiness is really low, but I don't know, that could have gone better. We have the opportunity to do one more attack if we move in. This is a unit which we haven't attacked yet this turn. So basically we pushed a lot of the units over the Donettes. It's going to be hard for them to forward back south of it. So, okay, what do I want to do? I want to do this, maybe that, and I want to do, yeah, so we have 2 units. This one's slightly better off, 86 versus 81. So I want to move, can anybody else get, yes, alright, we're doing this. Big push to cut off the line. Now we're completely surrounding. I couldn't go into this hex, which is what I wanted to do, but basically that unit is destined for there. I'm just taking a territory in advance, and hey, we see that there's nobody outside of Rostov, so Rostov's going to probably fall pretty quickly. We'll also do this one last thing, and yeah, we could do the attack, but better not. And I think we'll just patch the line up. We see some falling back of units, or we don't actually, I don't really know what the Soviets are doing over here. Our headquarters can move one further and has to. And I think that that's good for 17th Army. Just fill the gap. Okay, we should be in good shape to start probing Stalino next turn. Who knows, maybe surrounded. I don't know exactly what we do. We can just go around it, honestly. It's not a red. So if we just drove south to the sea, which is, basically 2 hexes from our taking, then we'll actually have this entire swath of territory cut off, were not for the Crimea line, but God, the bridge, it can't be, they can't hold out building it forever, right? Eventually we'll have it, 11th Army will move, and we'll get the cut off from both sides. Okay, as far as 4th Romanian, this is a little bit risky. I'm just going to let it lie, though. I don't think that their garrison is going to attack across my staff. If I wanted to, I could just move this unit back, but that would invite this unit across. I don't think that they would be crazy enough to do that. The alternative is I could do something like this, move this unit up. Let me just do that because then we're a little bit safer. And we'll move this unit here. So technically we're doing this so that we're in better position to get a single army having more sides of surround on this hex when eventually we decide to go there. Otherwise, it's up to the usual. This is the last time, by the way, that I'm going to move units into and out. So we'll get you to move here as well. But after this, I'm just relying on... I'm going to rely on... if we don't get the next one, which is a 65, then I'm going to rely on getting at the next one, which is a 60. I know that didn't really make sense, but anyway, we have a 92, and we should have a 93 in here as well. That one goes over here, and these guys cut back. Okay, so that's what the plan is. We're no longer going to be ferrying across this bridge. In fact, I almost want to rest these units, but I think we don't need to. So next turn, we're planning to do an attack on this hex. It's going to be a little bit brutal because we're attacking across the river with the majority of our strength. But we're basically just going to pretend that this bridge is going to be built, even if it isn't. Because we just can't wait any longer. And I think that it may force some move back of units. And honestly, if we absolutely have to, we can do some really crazy push to try to get connected from the east side. So we're just going to start making that push. Otherwise, I think that that's the turn. Oh my god, no. Aha, 1st Panzer Group. Come on, 1st Panzer Group. The big move, right? We move the HQ, now let's move the rest of the units. Okay, so you're heading south. We'll head you this way, I think. We started doing this, but we didn't finish, right? Hungarian's actually very cheap to move. You can see that their movement is 42, 84 for 2 hexes. These guys are 120. So expensive units are going to move down here, and this is where we can only go to that road right there, which is where we'll be going for a lot of units, including any of the armor units. Maybe some of the forces will head south, like a little bit more aggressively. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll be one right there. The first Hungarian is probably going to be the one that I have to have cross this river and verify. So you can see it's 105 to go from this side versus 110 to go here. I guess that they're going to be the unit that goes here, verifies that, and then marches here. And I guess that it was faster to go around that, not go through it. Okay, that's fine. The Hungarians are a little bit behind, but they'll catch up next time. This is another unit which is going to be very weak, or very low fuel cost. You can see 45, not quite 42, but pretty low. We're going to get this one, 2, 3, 4, to cross the river just to start gathering up some territory over there. Not really important to do that, but just doing it anyway. Maybe have the armor go... Well, the armor is better off moving more efficiently, but we can have like either weaker armor move less efficiently. So you are going to be one of the front runners since you're that. And yeah, you can move here. Yeah, I'm not exactly all this figured out, as you can very easily tell, but I want to move that way. 66. I think that's good enough to move that one in. Any armor, any like actual tanks are going to be very expensive. There we go. That's one. Okay, that's the one I wanted. That one's going to go there. Just take that territory. We have Cav, which probably better to leave them along the river, but we're going to be along the river anyway. We'll just move them here. Another unit who could move here, and I think will. And then tanks again back to the main line, and you back to the main line as well. Okay, good. So that's basically what we want to do, is push them as far as we can. So we still have one more turn to decide. As in, next turn we can decide whether or not we're swinging south or pushing full east to Stalingrad. We're still going to be limited at the rate that 1st Panzer Group can move. Oh yeah, and I also forgot. We can actually do, I think we can actually do a group move for once to get the entire... That's the first time in this entire game I've used that. I don't think it's very useful most of the time, but in that particular case I think it was. Get everybody forward. They all have the same action points. They all move together. Very good. Okay, and now we're done with the Army Group South, with the asterisk that poor 11th Army has not done anything yet again. We're leaving the unit that crossed the river just there. We don't care. It's just it's not the focus. And if they're kind of spending their resources holding this line, which we don't really care about, good for them. Okay, decisions. I don't even think there's any cars, but I'll go back and check. Let's get through the ones I already did. Propaganda. I'm not going to move the airfield, although they were asking to move it from Luga over to Narva. Don't really know what the point of that would be, but it's not necessary for sure. It's actually a little bit backwards. Then we have forward supply bases. I'm not going to move them forward. We're still a little bit behind in Army Group Center, and we don't have the rail capacity to move it forward in Army Group South. Also, there'd be a question about where exactly to move it anyway. We're going to finish the rail conversion along the current line, which is Luga to Stalingrad. Leningrad. I knew something was wrong when I said that. Couldn't figure out what it was for a second. That seems like a real city. Nope, there's Stalingrad over there. Not the one I meant. Yeah, okay, Eisenbahn Trupa, speaking of Army Group South. We're actually going to let them instigate a protective doctrine. We need to do anything we can just to keep the rails running, and I don't care how fast the future conversion is. Right now we're almost getting 3 per turn. You know what, in the end it doesn't really matter. We don't need further conversion now, we just need the ones that we have already converted to work so that we have enough oil going, and you can see it's red even as is. So we'll do this, and hopefully that'll help a little bit. Let's see, okay, then we have some interesting ones up here. Aircraft spare parts. We're just gonna, I don't know what the effect of this one is. So he's offering spare parts. I don't know what this is gonna be, but if it happens to be anything that can help with trains, then I'm very interested. Anyway, we're going to give it to Army Group South. I think everything goes to Army Group South at this point. There's not really a point to do anything else because like North and Center have already captured their objectives, and honestly they have like no resistance. The only resistance we have pretty much whatsoever is in Army Group South, and not even that much there, but you know, I mean the most that matters. There's still units in the other ones, but they're not playing any real role. And you know, same thing here. We're going to give the advantage, the ambiguous orders, which gives action point bonuses to all of Army Group South. That's going to be very nice. We will also just get the relations with Army Groups. Oh my goodness, plus 32. What the hell is von Rundstedt at? Oh my god, I've never... Pardon me, but I've never seen over 100. Our relationship with von Rundstedt is what? 147? I've never seen. That is... So chance of AP bonus for each army or panzer group is 112%. Which, I mean, I assume that means effectively we can't not get it. And we have room to spare. It's pretty crazy. We'll trust our Chief of Staff. We rolled an 88. That's, well, if this was earlier in the game, I'd be a little bit upset, but we're actually okay. Our handicap is not that bad anyway. This turn was ready in record time. Here we go. By the way, I did swap artillery and Army Group North over to the 18th Army. Okay, we were actually attacked, but it didn't go well for them. Another attack also didn't go well. Wow, it was 200 to 5,800. But I like to see some desperation attacks, breakout attempts. It does go to show you how, you know, how the Soviet conscripts' hands are very tied. They may want to break out, but they just don't have the capability of doing it, even if they try to. Wow, so we're into October now. Evening, 2200 to 2232, telephone talks with Field Marshal von Bock. I discussed with him the possibility of a drive by Guderian on Tula, considering the problem of supply and the situation on his extreme southern wing. He issues an order to Guderian directing him to seize the road Orel-Bryansk to secure his line of communications and the crossing of Bielev. Crossing at Bielev. Cool. That's kind of nicely related to what's happening with us. We're about to surround Tula, and Guderian is, well, he technically has already last turn driven around Tula. Still. So I guess von Rundstedt is going to have everybody in there because he has a 100% chance. We got third and second here from Center. Those are the two I look forward to the most, especially because we have like unlimited fuel there. And boy, isn't that something that the real German army wishes they could have said. Yeah, we got everybody in the north though too. So, alright, happy times. 7-4. Oh, okay. No fuel was received in the south, that's for sure. So that's not good. But that's going to conclude this video. So we'll pick up the next turn, the next episode. Try to keep that one short too. Drive to the finish, you can see the trucks did not make it. So that's, I mean, that was expected. But until the next one, thanks for watching. Stay safe and take care.